Your power is lying dormant within you. Keywords, within you. And the only reason that you have chosen not to activate your power, because it is a choice, you get to activate your own power, or you get to keep it dormant. There is not a greater force out there in the universe keeping you small besides yourself. You are the greater force keeping yourself small. And the only reason that we keep ourselves small, that we keep our power dormant, is because we are afraid of what other people who have also not claimed or owned or activated their own power yet are going to think about us. Why are we concerning ourselves with what the people who are also disempowered are going to think of us? It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. It's ridiculous. You want so desperately to feel love, to feel abundance, to feel joy and hope and expansiveness and all of these things that you wish for. They are within you. They are within your power. They lie dormant with your power. That you are the only one that has the capability of activating. And let me tell you something. When you begin to activate your power, when you begin to step into your truth, when you begin to speak your mind, people aren't going to like it. The people who are used to taking from you, the people who are used to receiving all of this dormant power from you, because the only reason it stays dormant is because people we're sending it out to people almost, because people can't take your power unless you hand it to them. Okay, and the reason the power is staying dormant for so long and you can't even feel it inside of you is because there are so many people that you have siphoned your energy off to, and they're feeding off of you. They are feeding off of you, and it's mutual. I'm sorry to say it, but it's mutual. If someone is feeding off of your energy, it is because you have given them access to it. And the moment that you step into your power, you're also laying to rest, retiring your role as the victim. You cannot be a victim and stand firm in your power at the same time. It is not possible, because the mere essence of being in your power is also being the creator of your reality. And you have to begin to face some hard truths. You have to look at the ways other people are treating you as if you allowed it. And that is a hard pill to swallow, because we do not want to admit that we allow people to treat us poorly. But that is absolutely the case. The way people treat you is the way you allow people to treat you. And it is time to fearlessly, we can pull strength from the inner lion within us to allow us to fearlessly step into our power. And the more and more and more we step into our power, it is no longer something that we are striving for or grasping for or wishing for. It just is us. It is our energy. And you no longer have to use your voice as much, because your energy, your essence, demands respect. When you are fully in your power, your energy commands respect from the universe. Not because you are better than, but because you have woken up to who we all are. And when we wake up to who we all are, it is now our job to be a mirror back to those who have not woken up yet. And to them, It might look like you think that you're better than, that you're bigger than, that you're greater than, and you're afraid because you have a kind heart. At the end of the day, your heart is pure. And you do not want to make other people feel smaller than, less than. You do not want to make people feel insecure and all of these. But let me let you in on a little secret. You are not making anybody feel anything. When they make the choice, just like we have all made the choice at one point or another to not step into our power, to stay small, they are making the choice to stay small. They are making the choice to feel insecure. They are making the choice to feel lesser than, because another being who is also standing firmly in their power, another being who commands respect from the universe, is going to see you as a mirror to them of their own power. They're going to see their own power within you, and so they are not going to fear you, and they are not going to cower from you because they see themselves in you. But do you know who else sees themselves in you? The people who are not yet in their power. They see their power in you, and it scares the shit out of them. It scares when you are not in your power, doesn't the idea of stepping into your power, of being truthful, being in your truth, no matter what, standing fearlessly against the world, doesn't that sound fucking scary? Yeah, it sounds scary. So when you're standing firmly in your truth, you're speaking your truth, you're expressing yourself from your truth, from your heart, that is going to scare the shit out of people who are not in their power yet, because you are being a reflection to them, all that they could be, but are choosing to not be. And then they have to swallow the hard pill, go through the spiritual awakening, or any type of awakening, really, in order to get where you're at. And they feel that. They feel all the work that they have to do in order to get to your level, and it scares them because they might not want to do the work. So rather than doing the work, they're going to project everything onto you. You think you're better than me. You think this, you think that. That's not true. That's their ego being scared to do the work to get to where you are at. Because they can absolutely do the work and match you at your level. But the idea of doing that work scares the shit out of their ego. And so you're just mirroring back to them all the work that they have not done yet. You are not making them feel small, insecure, lesser than. That is themselves. That is their ego keeping them small so that they don't have to do all this hard work to get to this point. Right? I mean, if you're watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the inner work that you've had to do to get to this point. You know all of the uncomfortable moments that you've had to go through to get to this point, to dissolve the layers of untruths. You know how uncomfortable it is to let the fire burn everything that is not you. Because even though it's not you, it's still incredibly painful to watch it all burn. But first you must walk through the fire and let it all burn so that you can understand that it was never you. So that you can understand that this new sense of power that you feel because you survived walking through a fire, that is you. But you would never understand that that was you until you walked through the fire and watched all the illusions burn to get to the point where only the truth remains, so that you can now only identify with the truth because it's the only thing that never burned. Do you understand? I know you understand. And they are afraid of walking through that fire. And I don't blame them. I do not hold it against anybody who is afraid of walking through the fire, because walking through the fire is not for the weak. And it's also not necessarily what everybody signed up for in this lifetime. So we cannot force our power onto others. We must not judge others who have not stepped into their power yet, but we also must not cower and bow to them. When you are cowering and bowing to people who are not yet in their power, that doesn't feel very good. I just got like a little bit of a stomach ache thinking about it. That doesn't feel good because it's not the truth. You are not living in the truth of who you are. And that is what we came here to do. We came here to live in the truth of who we are. Whatever that means to you. However you feel you need to express yourself, whether that is with making content, using your voice, sharing your light, singing, creating art, standing up to people who think they can disrespect you. Not in a loud, boastful, aggressive way, but in a still, unmoving, silent, powerful way. Because it's what you are. You don't have to be loud and aggressive to get your point across. That is what people do when they still don't know who they are, when they still don't understand what power really is. So they feel like they need to externally prove themselves by being aggressive, by being louder, by being mean, by intentionally trying to drag people down. That's not being in your power. That is absolutely not being in your power. Being in your power, not always, but a lot of the times, is just a silent presence or a steady and stern no, or a calling out in a loving way so that you can reflect back to them and say, no, this is not mine. I've done the work. This belongs to you. And when you can stand in your power and reflect back to them their own work and say, I will no longer be a scapegoat for the work that you have not done yet. Like that saying from whenever we were kids. I can't remember it. Whatever you say to me bounces off of me and sticks back to you. It's because you are so steady and silent in your power that you don't even have to utter a word. And everything that they try to project onto you is just going to bounce off and go right back to them. And they're just in their own little echo chamber of disempowerment. And there's nothing that you have to do other than stand in your truth and be firm with your power. And our power comes from our heart. We are not standing in our power because we are resentful, because we are angry. We are standing in our power because it is what we are. Because it is what we are. We are love. We are, when we choose to embody this, we are the presence of God. We become this divine presence of God. Not your ego. Your ego is not God. Your ego is not God. But that inner knowing, that inner wisdom, that inner truth, that inner spark in your heart is the presence of God. And you can either choose to listen to your ego or you can choose to listen to that spark. And when you listen to that spark, you are standing in your truth. You are standing in the truth of the divine. And you are anchoring in these angelic, heavenly frequencies onto a planet that desperately needs you to stand in your power. When you stand in your power, you are anchoring these divine frequencies into the grid, into Gaia. And you are elevating the consciousness of everyone around you. And that is the real work that we came here to do. Not to fix people, not to save people, but to stand firm in our own truth while anchoring in the presence of the divine to help elevate the consciousness of the planet, to force other people to do the internal work, to force other people to face their ego and to dismantle everything that they thought that they were so that they can step into their divine selves. They're doing the work. You've already done the work. All you have to do now is be yourself and stand firm in your truth, and that light will ripple out and affect the planet and affect everybody's consciousness to bring to their awareness that they have shit to do. They got work to do. They got stuff to look at. That is all you have to do, is be yourself and stand in your truth, and that's enough. Take a couple deep breaths. Just deep. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Calling in the presence of the divine. Calling forward all of our angels and guides for myself and everybody watching this. Please help us lead the way. Show us what we are not seeing clearly so that we may more effectively step into our truth and become the presence of the divine on earth. Well, it stopped flowing, so I think that's the end of the message. I got a hair on me, sorry. Yeah, it stopped flowing through, so I think that's what needed to be said. Okay. You got this. I love you so much. Thank you for doing this work. I know that it is not easy. And I'm so grateful for you at this time. And I am honored to be on this planet with you at this time. See y'all later.